welcome in to Extreme Talk, presented by Complete Real Estate, where experience and integrity matters. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Of course, all of our interviews all season long brought to you by Sutton Pools, LLC. Whether we're talking to coaches or people around the game of eight-man football, they're there. They're powering us. So a big thank you to them, and another big thank you to Complete Real Estate. Thank you to Fairlife Core Power Protein for sponsoring our Player of the Week, Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week awards every week. This past Wednesday, of course, we announced the Players of the Week for, it would have been August the 30th, the games that happened on August 30th. So congratulations to Wade Brashears from Lake Mary Prep down in Florida. Wade had Lake Mary Prep had a big matchup, big rivalry matchup there. They call it the Backyard Battle. And Wade went off. 185 yards, 4 touchdowns, 60% completion. And then he added 14 carries for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. So big congrats to Wade. And then Wardlaw Academy, Jackson Smoke. Big 32-20 win for them. And he clocked in 22 tackles, 13 of those being solo, 2 tackles for loss, and an interception. So big congratulations to Wade and Jackson, and their drinks will be on the way soon. So, like I said, big thank you to Fairlife Core Power for helping us kind of recognize these athletes. A lot of good ones this year so far have been able to be recognized as the offensive and defensive players of the week. All right, let's run through what happened this past weekend. I'm excited about today's show. 3:20, we got Chris Wood. He's from the Coastal Hurricanes, and they got a big matchup. And then 3:45, Greg Ferguson from Southwest Christian. They're the Lions coming off a win Friday night to kick off their season, so we'll talk to him a little bit later on in the show. But let's run through what's happened this past weekend. 2 games do not have scores reported for them. That's Cornerstone Family Saints hosting Waverly and Independent hosting Life Prep. This is out of the Kansas Christian Athletic Conference. We talked to Coach Tim Bolden last week. Had a big matchup against Manhattan Eagles coming up, and Eagles get the win in that one, 54-6. So they moved to 2-0 on the season. Lions at 1-1 overall. Let's go. Let's see. I think that was all the games that happened. Yeah, that was all the games that happened this past weekend. So let's go to Florida. Let's start with Friday. Ocala Christian, 52-0 win over Hernando Christian. Ocala moves to 3-0. Donahue Catholic, 62-19 over First Coast Christian. Geneva Classical Academy, 32-18 win over Cornerstone Academy. Geneva Classical now at 4-0. Real Life Christian at City of Life Christian. This has to be one of the most unique final scores I've ever seen. 10-8. Final score down in Florida. Raptors over the Warriors. That's cool. Real Life Christian Academy Raptors. That's pretty cool. Merritt hit a squirrel moment there. Merritt Island Christian 48-6 over Eastland Christian. Merritt Island Christian, they are at 4-0. Shorecrest Prep, defending champs, they're 3-0 after a 68-12 win over Calvary Chapel Academy. Masters Academy, 40-34 win over Lake Mary Prep. We just talked about them and the big win they got last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it would be. Masters Academy, though, coming into Lake Mary Prep, getting the 6-point win on the road. It was a good back-and-forth game. It was 21-20 at halftime, Lake Mary Prep. They took a 34-28 lead at the end of the third quarter, and then Masters Academy, 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, gives them that win. So a good one down there in the state of Florida. Canterbury, 29-8 win over Foundation Christian. Four Corners, 54-6 over Liberty Christian Prep. Countryside Christian, 54-0 over Oasis Christian. Lakeside Christian, 28-14 over Babcock. And Academy at the Lakes, 27-7 over Sports, Leadership, and Management Academy. So a lot of good football being played down there in Florida. And then yesterday, Florida School for the Deaf and Blind hosting Tennessee School for the Deaf. And the it might just be the Dragons, got the win over the Vikings 54-0. So a long drive for Tennessee School for the Deaf all the way down to St. Augustine, and didn't quite work out for them. So let's go to Virginia. Let's bounce up to Virginia. Had 3 games worth of days up there. Let's go and run through it. Christ Church School 56-14 over Blessed Sacrament Huguenot. I can't talk today. Man, all right. So, Christ Church School 2-0. I think 3-0. I think there was a game that didn't get reported. Maybe. Brunswick Academy 54-0 over Chincoteague. And so Brunswick Academy 2-1 on the season. On Friday, Fishburne Military 18-14 win over Massanutten Military Academy. The Covenant School 50-12 over Southampton Academy. Greenbrier Christian 57-0 win over Fuqua. Greenbrier Christian, the Gators, they are 3-0 up in Virginia. Rappahannock County 58-34 win over Kinston Forest. Rappahannock County goes to 2-1, and then Broadwater Academy over Randolph-Macon Academy yesterday, 42-20. And so Broadwater getting a win, first win of the season for them. So congratulations to the Vikings. Let's go to, we looked at the Mason-Dixon Conference. I think there's one on here. Alabama School for the Deaf at Oklahoma School for the Deaf. Let's see. This was in Sulphur, Oklahoma, and the Bison 60-30 win over the Silent Warriors. So congratulations to them. Let's go to Louisiana. I think we were missing some scores. Okay, so Thursday, JPG, John Paul the Great, was at First Baptist Christian. No score reported for that one. JPG is 4-0. No score reported, though. Acadiana Christian, 58-0 win over Mount Olive Christian. Acadiana 3-1 on the season. And then yesterday, SWLA, Southwest Louisiana Homeschool, 36-28 win over the North Shore Vultures. Great showing there for Southwest Louisiana. Congratulations there. Let's go to Mississippi. Let's jump to Mississippi. Let's look at 1A first. Delta Academy, they're 3-0, 46-6 win over Marvell Academy. DeSoto, 44-0 win over Lee Academy. Tunica, 56-14 over Calhoun. DeSoto and Tunica are both 2-0. Delta's 3-0. Hillcrest Christian, first win of the season, 62-28 over Tensas Academy. Ben's Ford Christian, 54-6 win over Franklin Academy. Ben's Ford now 3-0 on the season. Prairie View Academy, they're 4-0 after a 54-6 win over Union Christian. Wilkinson County Christian, 46-14 winner over Discovery Christian. Wilkinson County now at 3-1. Kemper Academy, 50-6 win over Hebron Christian. River Oaks, 50-8 win over Claiborne Academy. Porter's Chapel, 42-6 over Riverdale. Briarfield, 38. Tallulah, 14. So some good football being played there. River Oaks, by the way, still 3-0. Now 3-0 on the season. Let's jump up to 2A. Christian Collegiate Academy, 44-0 win over Pine Belt. Talked about Tunica, Delta, DeSoto. Deer Creek, 42-6 win over North Sunflower Academy. Park Place Christian, 22-14 over Prentice Christian. Great ball game there. Humphreys Academy, 42-20 over Newton County Academy. And let's see, I think that's all the other ones. I think all the other ones were 2A versus 1A, and we went over them with the 1A. So congratulations to the teams that are still unbeaten there in the MAIS. On Friday, Heritage Christian, 36-20 win over the New Orleans Homeschool Saints. And then yesterday, Magnolia was supposed to play. Magnolia Wildcats, they ended up not being able to play. And so they pick up the forfeit win there. Let's jump to the Heartland Christian Conference out in the Midwest on Thursday. Crossover Prep hosting DeWar. Crossover Prep, no score reported for that game. Abundant Life, they hosted Arkansas Christian Academy. Arkansas Christian 1-1 coming into this game. Abundant Life kicking their season off with a 59-12 win. So congratulations to the Owls. On Friday night, Southwest Christian, we'll talk to Coach Ferguson here later on in the show, 46-8 win over Trinity Christian. Life Christian 52-26 over Graham Dustin. Destiny Christian 26-22 over Waurika. And Welch 46-14 winners over Claremore Christian. Yesterday, Sunrise Christian and Central Christian. Central Christian coming out of the KHSAA, Heart of the Plains division. Sunrise Christian, they're in the Heartland Christian Athletic Conference. And Bison, 54-50 win in that one to get them to 500 for the season. 1-1 record there. Let's run through the state of North Carolina. Let's talk about it. On Monday, a couple makeup games on the varsity level. Faith Christian, 64-8 winner over Liberty Christian, and Harrell's Christian, 23-7 win over Wayne Christian. Let's jump to Friday night. Pungo Christian, 42-18 win over Mattamuskeet out of Virginia. Arundel Parrott, 64-26 win over St. David's. So both of those, St. David's first loss of the year. Arundel Parrott moves to 3-1. Liberty Christian, just 4 days after playing on Monday, 28-16 win over Berean Baptist. Halifax Academy 42-7 over Rocky Mount Academy. JP2 53-0 over Father Capodanno. Wayne Christian 42-26 over Faith Christian. Faith Christian having won their game on Monday earlier that week. Community Christian 58-44 over Northeast Academy. Cary Christian 60-6 over Lawrence Academy. And then Lee Christian and Howard, no scores reported there. Let's go to Georgia. Let's talk about the state of Georgia. All the games being played on Friday. Holy Spirit Prep 60-18 win over St. Mary's Academy. Westminster Schools of Augusta hosting Harvester Christian. We just talked to Coach Reed last week. Coach Murphy down at Westminster Schools of Augusta. This was a big matchup, and WSA gets the win, 54-24 over Harvester. Westwood, 46-6 win over Memorial Day. Sherwood Christian, 66-8 over Crisp Academy. Good game here. Georgia Christian, 12-8 winner over Fullington Academy. A barn burner there. Georgia Christian now 4-0 on the season. David Emanuel, 44-0 win over John Hancock Academy. Westminster Christian, 16-8 win over Covenant Academy. Westminster winning the close ones, and they are also 4-0 on the season. Vidalia Heritage, 16-14 win over Grace Christian. Good game there. Let's go to South Carolina. Let's start with the SIFA. On Thursday, Carolina Wildcats hosting South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind. 56-6, Wildcats get the win, move to 500 on the season. Georgia School for Innovation in the Classics hosting Harvest Christian. They're an SIFA gameplay. It's a matchup there. And Patriots 38-0 winner over the Hawks. They move to 3-0, the Patriots do. Pack and Augusta, big matchup here, rematch of the championship last year. Panthers 54-20 over the Eagles. Panthers now 5-0 on the year. And then Coastal Hurricanes winning an 11-man game, 44-30 over Palmetto Christian. We'll talk to Coach Wood here in just a couple minutes after we finish running through some of these games. Let's go to Skeesa there in South Carolina. Stay in South Carolina. Jefferson Davis, 66-0 winner over Conway Christian. Lawrence Academy, 40-20 winner over Oak Brook Prep. Holly Hill Academy moves to 3-0 on the season with a 48-22 win over Kings Academy. Wardlaw Academy as well at 3-0. We just talked about Jackson Smoke winning Defensive Player of the Week. 54-20 winner over Newberry Academy. Cathedral Academy 4-0 on the season after a 58-8 win over Cross. And Richard Wynn 3-0 after a 57-6 win over King Academy. Let's go to Alabama. Let's run through Alabama real quick. Evangel Christian on the road for the second straight year up in Franklin to take on Franklin Christian, this time an 11-man matchup. And Evangel, I got the chance to check out this broadcast a little bit. FCA up in the, I know at halftime they were up, maybe the third quarter. Evangel, though, came back. 20-14, Lightning get the win in that one. They love those 11-man comebacks, man. Last week against Banks, just almost got it done. This week they get it done against the Falcons. Ezekiel Academy, 40-12 win over Lighthouse Warriors. Warriors at 0-4 now, and Ezekiel picking up the big win at home. You would think that possibly they've kind of hopped in that playoff spot, maybe that 4 seed, depending on what happens with East Central and Southern Christian, but we'll have to see. Let's go to the AISA. Lakeside School and Edgewood Academy, the game was scheduled. I don't know if it was played. Coosa Valley, though, 62-14 win over North River Christian. Cornerstone Christian 3-0 on the year with a 48-8 win over Meadowview Christian. And then if we back up on Thursday, Macon East Montgomery Academy 58-32 win over Evangel Christian, and Springwood 44-28 win over Southern Prep. Let's go to the CFA real quick. Russell Christian taking on MAIS School Columbus Christian, 34-20 Warriors over the Rams. Cornerstone Christian, this game was a lot of fun to watch and see, the last maybe minute or so. Cornerstone Christian out of Rainsville, they're up on Tabernacle 30-26, I think. Tabernacle scores, makes it 32-30. Cornerstone scores on the last play of the game to win 38-32. Jacksonville Christian, the Thunder, 48-12 win over Trinity Christian Homeschool. I'm going to run through the SEEK real quick. South Haven Christian 62-0 win over Riverside Christian. Freedom Cowboys 54-20 win over Christian Community. Zion Christian 34-20 over Chattanooga Patriots. Lancaster Christian 44-32 win over the Tennessee Tigers. And Tennessee Heat playing an 11-man game on the road at Donaldson Christian. And the Heat come up short 56-21. All right, let's go ahead and get my guest queued up here. And again, all these interviews all season long with coaches and people around the game of 8-man football is brought to you by Sutton Pools LLC. Joining me now is the head coach of the Coastal Hurricanes, Coach Chris Wood. Coach, thank you so much for hopping on with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Coach, for those not familiar with the Hurricanes, of course, you guys have been in the SIFA and then the conference before that. You guys have been around. But for those maybe not familiar with them or maybe yourself and your coaching career, let's go ahead and let's kind of get everybody up to speed on yourself and the program.
Yeah, absolutely. The CHAA, Coastal Homeschool Athletic Association, was started in 2010. Started out with football, baseball, and soccer. And then we've grown since to encompass basketball, volleyball, golf, added cross country this year. I came on in 2018 as a defensive coordinator and then took over in 2019 as the head coach. And it's been a joy and just getting to know the family, the kids, and just coaching football and, all the other coaches out there. It's really a good small family for the 8-man independence.
Now, what got you into coaching, Coach?
What got me into it?
Yeah, what got you into coaching?
Yeah, I've always loved the game, played it many years, and we were actually living in Atlanta, and a next-door neighbor came over, and he saw an old book. I had a coffee table book on the nightstand, not the nightstand, but the ottoman there. And he was like, "Oh, you like football?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And he's like, "Well, I'm a coach over here. Do you want to help out?" And this was recreational and started there. And that was actually 20 years ago.
Wow.
And been doing it ever since. Had great seasons and, not so great seasons.
Well, looking at the season so far, of course, you guys get the win over Victory. You get the win over Cambridge, both shutouts. Of course, you love to get those big wins, but then going into Cathedral, you had to know, hey, this is going to be a little bit tougher game. How do you prep your guys to say, hey, yeah, we had 2 great wins here, but we're going to have a tough team on our hands here? How do you prep your guys for a game like that?
That's if you can talk to anyone and figure that out, I want to know.
Fair enough. I know it didn't go your way, but that's something that you guys obviously had to approach and figure out, hey, what's going to be the best way to do this?
Yeah, we just try to keep them grounded. And what I tell them, win, lose, or draw, is you will never get that play or that game back. You can
Yeah.
think about it forever. And, yes, we knew going into Cathedral, they were tough, very athletic, very well coached team. And, we just prepared as best we could. We went in with a great game plan. We executed well. There was just some, just didn't go our way sometimes. Not making excuses, but they're just a good team. Now, with that being said, I'd love to play them again, maybe in the future, later on this season. I think that our kids learned a lot from it. I think we could make the game a little bit closer. I'd like to think we could win, but until we actually play it, we'll never know. But it was a good eye opener for them because, like you say, it's hard after two wins like that to get them back down to earth and to not have the loose practice and kind of goof around a little bit. And no matter how much we tried to wrangle them back in, they were having fun with it, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. No doubt.
understandable.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, after the
Hmm.
Cathedral, you guys play the 11-man game this past Friday against Palmetto. You had the two big wins. You had the loss to Cathedral, and you mentioned a little bit, kind of bringing them back down to earth a little bit. But the game against Cathedral, what were you guys able to take from that to get ready for Palmetto in terms of just preparation? Maybe obviously it's an 11-man game, so a little bit different circumstance. Um, but what were you guys able to take away from that game to get you ready for Palmetto? Because you go up to 11-man and win 44-30. No matter the level of 11-man team, still making going back and forth, it can be challenging a little bit.
Well, yes, and in all transparency, they actually dropped to 8-man
Okay,
late. They
fair
had
enough.
some
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
had
got
some
you.
people get hurt. But with that being said, we knew that we were going to be in a dogfight.
Yeah,
Very well coached team, and the weather for us, as you can tell by our first two wins, we were kind of an air attack. Uh, we didn't go to the air as much against Cathedral, and then this past week it was just pouring for
yeah,
most of the
yeah,
game.
no doubt.
Um, my quarterback was like, "Hey, the ball is it's hard to hold on to. It's very heavy. I can't put it where I need to put it." And in reality, when it's raining really difficult like that, really hard, the receivers have a tendency to drift to the inside.
Yeah, yeah,
Just and so we were having some downfield misses. We had a little bit of success across the middle, um, but we went to our ground game, and it's what we had done the week before when we really started having some success. Even though the game didn't come out the way we wanted, we saw that we've got a pretty solid running game in Jace Knight
right.
and Weston Holcomb as well as a blocking back. And when he gets the ball, he's a freight train. So we had success there, and we realized we needed to go back to the ground, and that's really what helped us and got us the win that night. It was just nonstop running. And they did the same thing. They've got a great running game. Um, and it looks simple. It looks like you should be able to just take care of it, but they executed very, very well against us.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue in. You talked about a couple of the guys that have stepped up. Coming back from last season, or maybe over the off season, I want to give you a chance to maybe give a shout out or hype up a couple of guys that maybe they just stepped up. Maybe you're excited to see what they do or what they're going to do. Coming back from last season, I want to give you a chance to talk about your guys a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned earlier Weston Holcomb. Last year, he's just a real tough kid. And last year he had a torn PCL for about the last 5 or 6 games of the season, and he
Wow.
wouldn't tell us. We knew he
Yeah.
had a banged up knee, but he wouldn't tell us. And he went, had surgery, rehabbed it back, and he's come back with a vengeance. He's ready to hit. He wants to put the work in, which he is. My quarterback, and in all transparency, again, he is my son,
There's
but
nothing wrong with that.
I don't make any. Yeah, well, I don't make any decisions. I,
Yeah.
I make
Yeah.
sure I stay away from daddy ball, and I handle more of the defense, and I let the offensive coordinator make the calls on everything.
Right.
He's stepped up. He's got some college visits coming up where he's been invited.
Oh, that's
Starting to get some
awesome.
traction there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Jace Knight, my running back, He's got some colleges looking out into him, discussing with him the possibility of playing. And I don't want to really go into who or what because I don't want to jinx it or anything like that. But I know he's talking to some schools. Um, and I have to give a shout out to my offensive line. We have that's been a area of lacking for years and years, and it wasn't the will of the kids. It was just sometimes the size or just needing to get them in the right position with the right kind of block. I've
Right.
never been an offensive lineman, to teach, and I've got a great coach in TJ Jackson that played at Savannah State as a lineman. He's come in and he's done wonders. And our Adley Moore, Parker Sindler, and Jack Shanholster, they're a real solid up front three. So and then that goes right along with my OC, Richard Moore. He uses that to the best he can, knowing that we've got a good line, so we can actually run the ball. We can do some play action. We can do the things to where we're not so one dimensional. So those guys are really stepping up, and we've got another kid, Josh Millage and Elijah McField. Those two out at wide receivers they're just very, very good, very fast. And we're a very well-rounded team. Whereas, a lot of times in the past, we might have been like, wow, we've got like a great receiver and a great running back. And then you're struggling, or you might have that great tackler. And it seems like this year we've just got a great rounded team. So we're very excited. But yeah, we've got some great kids that are putting in the work. They listen to us. They do all they can.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to back up just a little bit. Of course, 2022, you guys make it to the SIFA championship, taking on Pack. You've had that taste of, hey, just to get there. And obviously Pack is a tough opponent, and they're there every year. Last year, a little bit of a rebuilding year, not as much. Have you had the talk with your guys or your coaching staff about maybe guys that weren't around then, what it takes to get back to that level? The process of getting there. Have you guys had that talk?
We have, and it's a little difficult sometimes. We are all volunteer led, so we're not necessarily going to be screaming and hollering at the kids and, this is what you've got to do. But we have had that talk. That
Yeah.
year, last year we had 6 knees and had, I think we counted up 8 kids that either graduated, military moves, or, decided to go back to public school. So
Wow.
that's tough to build back from, but we've still got our core group from years ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is not going to get any easier. Every week it's going to get tougher and tougher. We knew PCA was going to be tough. We know our game this week is going to be tough, and it just continues on. And as you said, our final game of the season is against Pack, a regular season, and
Yeah.
they're just Pack
Hopefully,
is
hopefully
Pack.
not the last game. Hopefully not the last game of the season, Coach.
Well, no, it won't be our last game of the season, but I
Fair
mean for
enough.
the regular season, I
Fair
guess I
enough.
should have
Yeah.
said. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but we are definitely working towards playoffs. We want to be there. But we also know that everyone else does too. And from here on out, I think we have one non-conference game. So we
Yeah.
are everything from this point forward is do or die, so to speak.
Yeah, Pinewood Prep. They're on October 11th for homecoming.
Yes.
That's a perfect segue in because I wanted to ask you. Of course, next 4 games in a row, all conference games, all good teams. I mean, Georgia School for Innovation Classics. They're 3-1. Augusta, what is their record? Let's see. They're 1-3, but they had the shootout game in Gatlinburg.
That Augusta's record does not reflect
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Carolina Wildcats, which they're 500, but the fact that they can roll in with, what is it, 11, 12, 13 guys maybe, and they're going to give you a dogfight. I mean, you guys, and then Harvest, you guys have just the meat of your schedule here in the next 4, but really through the month of September. as you get your guys ready for games that I don't want to say that the ones, the first four didn't count, but in terms of making it to the playoffs, what are some of the things that you think are important to communicate with your guys about coming through the meat of your schedule right here? These games that, it's either win or, hey, we're getting ready for basketball come November.
Yeah, I don't even worry about 2 weeks. When
Fair
we get
enough.
to practice tomorrow, we are just focused only on that game. We spend about 15 minutes before practice going over what went over, what transpired the week before.
Yeah.
And then that's it. We are, like right before this call, I was watching film, breaking down film. I'll continue to do it the rest of the day. I know my other coaches are too. My defensive coordinator, Ollie McField, is doing that as well. And right then, our practice is pretty cut and dry. We hit, do tackling drills, and then we break out into offense, break out into defense. And we'll do that the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And we will focus only on the Georgia School of Innovation this week. And yeah, I know they're coming down the barrel, but if we start looking ahead, then I can guarantee you with the schedule and the teams we play, we are not going to do well. So all these teams we play from here on out are good enough that we have to give them our undivided attention for that entire week.
Yeah, no doubt. And you talked about watching film a little bit for Georgia. It kind of leads into my next question. When you play a team like that you've never played before, you haven't seen before. Obviously, really, film is the only thing you have to watch. And I'm guessing kind of the process is watch the film, figure out what you can, talk to who they've played, and then throughout the week, just make sure the basics are solid. I'm guessing that's kind of the pattern to get ready for somebody that you haven't really played before.
Yeah, absolutely. And every team does the same thing. I mean, we've all got our plays we hold back. You want to keep those in your back pocket, especially us. Like I said, we know we've got Pat coming. So, if Tim's listening, I'm not playing everything. I'm going to play against him, when we go to Columbia. But, we do all we can just to prepare. And like you said, calling other coaches. The great thing about our program and everyone else we play, and I can honestly say this is all the coaches are in it for the same reason. We're not gonna pad our stats. We're here for the kids.
And it
And
seems like a brotherhood too.
yeah, absolutely. We all get along. I mean, Josh up in Augusta, we're constantly texting back and forth. Tim, I mean, all of them. You name it. We're all very helpful for each other. Even the schools that aren't in our conference. I've been texting yesterday and today with the coach from PCA. Incredibly nice man, and we had a great time. It was a dogfight. It was a great game. I mean, no ill will, and that's what I like about it. I mean, I just enjoy the coaching aspect, getting the kids together. That's another thing. PAC is a program that's they're just tough. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's crazy is our players are constantly texting with their players. I think last year they were wanting to go to each other's proms. I mean, they're friends.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
go out and they're going to knock each other's heads off for the football game. But afterwards, they just get along. They're good friends. They wish each other luck, and that's more important than anything. I mean,
No
football is a
doubt.
brotherhood that they're going to have for the rest of their life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Tim, I hope you're listening. That's just for the fact I hope you're listening. No, anyways.
Yeah, right.
So obviously you don't want to look ahead too far, week by week, but kind of going through the rumor mill, you guys might be heading to Florida, maybe,
Yeah,
possibly.
we will. Yes. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
There you go.
And I think that we told the team at the beginning of this year, and I've gone through the record books of Coastal, and like right now, our quarterback Colin is. I haven't broken out film, but going into this game, he was 905 yards away from being the all-time passing leader.
Wow, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so he's having a great season. Unfortunately, Jace Knight, this will be his only year he'll play for us because he'll graduate. But I can guarantee if he had been here probably just 2 years, he would have got the all-time rushing the way he's playing right now.
Mm.
So on paper, we told the team, look, guys, we we measure your 40s, we watch you, we know these things, we see how you tackle, and we're like, on paper, you guys are one of the best teams that you've ever put out, that Coastal has put out in football.
Yeah.
You have to, of course, live up to it. You can't just say we're the greatest. But with that being said,
Yeah.
Coastal
Talk is
won.
cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we wanted them to kind of know, look, you've got the ability. We're going to be tough on you, but you've got the ability to do something great. And I kind of made the decision at the beginning of the year. I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and give it a shot. We can go up if we make a good showing. It'll help build the program even more. And maybe and I'm kind of taking a playbook or a play page out of Tim's book. He's been stepping up for years, playing some teams that are very, very good and going to tournaments. And he's like, if we don't test ourselves, we'll never know. And I'm like, that's a good idea. That's a good plan. So yeah, we're going. We've got our paperwork in, and yeah, that's on down the road.
That's awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited about that. That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
And just the chance to get to match up with other teams around the area, and kind of like you said, kind of gauge yourself and see, hey, what, or even just compare and contrast notes. Hey, what are these guys doing? Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll try that, or stuff like that. It'll be great to see that, and it's always cool to see teams from different states play each other. And I'm geeking out a little bit. I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to it though. I ask every coach this, and I'm kind of gauging the responses. But are you more of a pregame or a post-game meal kind of guy?
Oh, I'm post.
Post?
Yeah. I've gotten better over the years, and usually our team will either go to Waffle House or Denny's after the games. But
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I can't. I guess me and the other coaches want to do everything we can for the kids, and I'm more nervous about making mistakes. And so, with that being said, we told the kids too, if this team doesn't succeed, it's not because if you guys put in the work, it's not you, it's because we didn't coach you well. So
yeah, no doubt.
I get really nervous about making sure that we have our game plan down to put them in the best position to win. And so I get a little nervous. I hardly even drink a Gatorade before a game. I'm just kind of just zoned in and get a little loud during the game, which is kind of fun. But
nothing wrong with that.
Other than that, I had to tell a couple kids this past week, because I yelled at them pretty good. My other son was one of them, pretty good. I even just saw it on film, and I was like, wow, I was pretty loud on that. And but I tell them on the sidelines after about 5 minutes, I'm like, I love you. It's just a matter of I want you to do better, and I saw this, and I'm not trying to argue with you, but, come on.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt. Well, I guess that kind of answers the second one, because it's, if you got your choice post-game, what are we going with? But it sounds like Awful Waffle or Denny's is kind of the go-to.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Denny's, we love the Denny's in our hometown. We overrun them, though. They're like every other restaurant now. They're kind of understaffed. So a football team and parents and everyone else coming in, we know to sit there for about 3 hours. Waffle House does a little bit better. So when we go out of town, we usually try to drive about 30, 45 minutes away, because without fail, we'll run into the team we just played at the Waffle House. So
yep. And then
do that, but
and then it'll be a real cluster.
Yeah. But we do that, and we just take our time getting home. And I mean, so far this year, we've gotten home at 2 and 4, and just kind of whenever we roll in. So
there you go. Well, Coach, I appreciate you hopping on, man. I'm excited to see what you guys do throughout the season, and looking forward to seeing you guys down in Florida later on this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and go Canes.
There you go. Appreciate you, Coach. We'll see you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's Coach Wood, Chris Wood, from the Coastal Hurricanes. They're in Pembroke, Georgia, billed out of Pembroke, Georgia, via Max Preps. But I'm excited to see them down in Florida at the NHSA 8-man tournament. I don't mean to, Mike, if you're listening, Hank, if you're listening, I'm not trying to spoil anything. I just, had to bring it up a little bit. But, yeah, I'm excited to see them, take on other teams, maybe other teams that finish in the same area. I mean, if the last couple of years they haven't been able to in Florida, but you get enough teams, you could do 2 divisions. So that would be pretty cool. So if you're not familiar with it, the NHSA, St. Denis family, they put on a tournament every season for 8-man and 11-man. But you go down this year. The dates have moved. This year it is November 13th through the 16th. Traditionally, it's like a Friday through Monday deal, but they've moved it back to Wednesday through Saturday. And everybody will show up on Wednesday this year. They'll play games on Thursday, Friday off, play games on Saturday, and then Sunday can be a travel day. But it's always really cool to see the matchups. The last couple years haven't been able to do two divisions. I think the first year we went down in 2019, I think there were multiple divisions maybe. I know 2020, I think there were multiple divisions. So it's always a lot of fun to see some good football, and hopefully there'll be some variety this year. Several different teams coming down. Of course, you got your staples. Listen, Evangel Christian, for everyone that says, oh, well, we're tired of seeing Evangel there. Listen, if you're tired of seeing them there, beat them. They are the 6-time defending champs because nobody beats them. If you're tired of seeing them there, beat them. All right? That's what I'll say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Anyways, I got a little distracted there. Well, big thank you to Coach Wood for hopping on the show here. And, of course, that interview brought to you by Sutton Pools, LLC, as are all the coaches' interviews this season. Let's go ahead and get my next guest queued up here.
Hello.
Joining me now is the head coach from Southwest Christian. They're in Little Rock, Arkansas, Coach Greg Ferguson. Coach, thanks for hopping on with me.
Oh, anytime. Good to hear from you again.
Well, for those not familiar, I did this with Coach Wood just a few minutes ago, but for those not familiar with Southwest or maybe yourself and your coaching career, I'd like to get everybody up to speed.
Yeah, we're at Southwest Christian Academy. We're in Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're a small private school sitting in the central part of Arkansas, and we've been playing 8-man football for a long time. I've been coaching for the last 6 years, I believe it is. So kind of hang out there and just coach the kids playing football, playing 8-man. So,
well, you guys take on. I'll pull it up real quick. I know you guys had Sabaiko the first weekend.
Yep.
First week of the season coming out of AAA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Of course, Arkansas. I wanted to ask you about that. The AAA, the Arkansas Athletic Association, within the last couple of years, really kind of gaining steam with 8-man, whether the club or the sanctioned divisions. You guys historically have had to travel a lot. I mean, a lot.
Yes.
You've got to love the fact that more 8-man teams are popping up there in Arkansas and giving y'all a little bit easier of a travel setup in terms of opponents.
Yeah, this year is probably going to be the easiest travel because I think the only big travel day is when we play Destiny and
right in Delcini.
Yeah. So now those 2-hour trips don't seem as bad. So. But yeah, 8-man in Arkansas, it's growing, and it's been nice to see because when you got the club, you got two divisions: club division, which are guys that want to go back to 11-man and eventually will go up to 11-man, and then you got the other division where it's some of them smaller schools that may not ever go back to 11-man, but they got a place to play, and it's cool to see them be able to crown a state championship in that division as well.
And a big shout out to Arkansas too. Like I said earlier, for kind of picking up on that, and it happened in Alabama too with the AISA starting an 8-man division. But a big shout out to Arkansas for recognizing, hey, there's an opportunity here to give these smaller schools the chance to play and an opportunity to play and still keep the kids safe. Really, really cool to see that pop up there in y'all's area. And then, of course, that's not the only way that y'all have been helped with travel. Your conference doing the two divisions, but doing it based off of where you're at in Arkansas. So you guys in the Arkansas division, you've got Arkansas Christian, Trinity Christian there, Texarkana, and Abundant Life, right, on the other side of town. Big rivalry game. Does it help, or how does it help the schedule? Just knowing, that you guys aren't going to have to travel a lot. You've got teams playing in your area. I mean, Bryant with Arkansas Christian isn't that far. So really, you guys' travel has gotten super, super easy. But you're also able to, I think, develop a little bit more of a rivalry with some of these teams.
Yeah, so our travel's been cut down, which is nice, and I think our athletic director loves it even more
No doubt.
because
Yeah.
that means we're not spending so much money on gas trying to go all over into into Oklahoma and all that. But yeah, we're able to play. We're able to play each other 1 to 2 times. Us and Trinity will play each other one more time, and Abundant Life will play them twice, and then it leaves room to play some of our public schools that are around us, just to continue to try to just see the level of playing field and try to get up on different level as well. So
It's a little bit of a double-edged sword, though. I mean, if you have a team that you know that you're better than or equal to, you're like, okay, cool, we've got two good games. But if there's somebody that you know is going to be a little bit better than you, you just look forward and you go, hey, we're going to have a dogfight. This one's going to be rough. It seems like a little bit of a two-edged sword, but I think it kind of works out, though, because it's a great way to make the team better, either playing even games or playing teams better than you.
yeah, and I think it tries to help us to figure out what kind of team we are, and we got to play better teams. I mean, that's how you get better as a group, and so then when you play teams that aren't as good, then it's good. The good news is you can get your other players who may not get a lot of playing time, start getting them more playing time so that throughout the season that they can develop into helping out the team as well. So
I want to back up just a little bit. Obviously, last season not ending the way that you guys wanted, playing for the D2 championship against Cross Christian, coming up just a hair short. But that team only had three seniors on it. You got a lot of guys coming back from last year. And obviously, that kind of, I would assume it would put a chip on a couple of guys' shoulders. But I want to give you a chance to talk about some of those guys that are coming back from that team, or guys that have maybe stepped up over the offseason, and you're excited to see what they do throughout the season. Obviously, you guys have played a couple games now, but or maybe it's guys that have stepped up this season.
yeah, I mean we got a good senior class. So we got I think about 6 seniors,
Okay,
and
yeah,
which is our biggest that we've ever had.
yeah,
And so these are the guys. I'm probably a little bit more partial to these guys than any other group because these guys started with me when they were in 8th grade.
really,
So
okay.
they didn't play much. They kind of sat the bench and watched from afar and
They
dressed out.
they've been in the
Uh,
system though, and that's invaluable.
yes, they've been in the system and they have worked their way up into. Most of them are starters at this point, and so yeah, it's unique. We got Anthony Martinez, who's our center, who stepped into that role last year, and just trying to he's a guy that just sees a need and wants to just to help the team out as best as possible. And then we got Bryce Hartness, who's been with us, who's our other lineman, and then Dominic Ferguson, one of our wide receivers slash kind of everything. We kind of put him everywhere, all over the field.
Yeah.
And so he came up big last year for us, and really he's stepping up again this year, and just being that leader that he is. And I mean, we just got a bunch of guys this year, some new guys that are just stepping up and they're leaders. And we got a kid named Jared Berry, came in senior this year, wants to play football and just helping out in different areas. And so we just got a lot of guys this year just stepping up. And I told our team, for the first time, our seniors are the leaders on this team. And so which is an exciting place to be.
A lot of people listening probably are from small schools, but there's a lot of people from homeschool organizations. Some of them small, some of them decent size. There's some decent sized schools too. But being the coach at a small school and having been there for a couple years, what's maybe something that people don't think about you having to work through being the head coach at a small school?
Uh, I think you got to work through all of our kids. Most of them have never played football before.
Yeah,
And so, you go to some, like even the smallest town in Arkansas, kids are playing as little kids. And so every kid I get doesn't play football, have never played football. So trying to teach them how to play football has been kind of that challenge of like, okay, this is how you do it. And I always tell the kids, I said, now the true challenge comes when you get hit. I said, when you get hit hard from another team, I said, you either become the shark or become a minnow. Like
yep, yep.
you either taste the blood and then go after it, or you just go, hey, this sport's not for me. And so, and the weight room's been big for us. Just instilling a weight room and being in the weight room and getting the kids bigger and stronger. And I told them, I said, when we get some of our kids, even their parents or moms are worried about, injuries and all that. And I just told them, I said, guys, if you're in the weight room getting bigger and stronger, you won't have as many injuries as you think you will. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
just trying to instill that work ethic, the weight room, getting bigger and faster and working together, really has instilled just a good work ethic, kids who are stronger. And now you see confidence. I mean, really, you can't build confidence on the field. I think you build it in the weight room and where kids start learning about themselves and what they can do. So,
Yeah, that's a huge boost, when you're trying to hit that PR, and you get it, and then you got your guys around you hyping you up. That transitions a lot mentally. It's a big mental battle there. I want to get you to talk about a little bit replacing the quarterback from last year, Thomas Stewart, now at Washita Baptist or Washita Christian, one of the two. Want to get you to talk about replacing him at quarterback. Obviously, you got Jaden, and Thomas was special, but what did that process look like a little bit, trying to get Jaden ready for that?
well, we moved Jaden to fullback because that kid, he was the quarterback, and then he hit the weight room a little too hard and became a fullback. I mean,
Fair
still
enough.
still fast. Now he likes to hit people, and I'm like, okay, I got to move you around. But yeah, replacing Thomas is hard. He's at Washington Baptist. Enjoying his first year up there. We're excited for him. We're proud of him. They redshirted him, so he's gonna just watch from afar
That's
and
still
and
cool
help the
for a
team.
small school like that, though.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And just talking to him and just seeing where his mindset is, we're super proud of him, knowing that he, his job is to get his team ready for games, and he's excited for the challenge. But replacing him is not the easiest thing. So we've had several kids come in from from other schools. So we have Jared Berry came in from Sheridan High School. So he kind of is that replacement quarterback, and then we got another kid who's ninth grade, Logan Nolte, and so he's kind of that second to third string. Has we're working with him and throwing and running, and then we got Isaiah Hernandez who he's about 6'2", so he can sling the ball. So
Yeah, no doubt.
so we got right now we got three guys that are all playing quarterback at different times during the game. So I guess it makes it fun for us, and then harder on the other teams that are scouting us, going, so who's the quarterback now?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
That's one
so
way to
yeah,
do it, though. That's
yeah,
keep them guessing. Keep them guessing.
exactly.
Hey, we talked about AAA picking up 8-man. Have you had a lot of coaches reach out to you, or have you had been able to have some conversations, help anybody with it? Obviously, it's kind of a big change. It's been there in Arkansas with you guys, but with this happening over the last couple of years, have you been able to talk to anybody?
Yeah, so we've since this it's been helpful looking at, we've gotten just connected with a bunch of other different schools, just scheduling games and doing different things together. And so yeah, it's really helped us to be able to kind of get into another group that we haven't been into. And so that's been fun.
Man, Sabai goes a ways out there. I just looked
Yes.
at that. That is off the beaten path.
Yeah, so it's an all boys school.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
Yeah.
you'll go there and you'll see monasteries and different stuff. It's a pretty unique place to be. So you'll see monks walking around, and it's pretty cool. They got a good program out there. They've had a they've been playing football for a long time, and
Yeah.
so yeah, so that was a fun game just to be at and be a part of.
You guys' rivalry with Abundant Life has been going on several years. Was it planned to play them back to back at the end of the year, or how did that happen?
So it happened not because me and both the coach were like, we don't want to play back to back, but we're looking at our schedule going, but there's really no room. So it was one of those like, this is gonna be good or bad. It's like we
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
do it, but we're gonna do it. And so yeah, so we're gonna play them back to back, and it really could be a preview of one side of the playoffs at that point. So who knows? We could end up playing each other 3 times when it's all said and done. So
For those not familiar, I wanna get you to talk a little bit about the other division, the Oklahoma side of it. A lot of good teams like a Sunrise Christian up there. I want to get you to talk about that other division a little bit.
yeah, so we got the Oklahoma division, we got Sunrise, we got Destiny, and so and then Crossover Prep is over there, and so we scrimmaged them a couple weeks ago and got to see them a little bit, and then yeah, so I mean, so that's a whole nother division.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just got to keep an eye on them. We'll end up playing Destiny here in October.
Right.
We'll
Right.
go up to them, and it'll be a preview of kind of, I guess the playoffs will be kind of, we'll be seeing where they're at in the Oklahoma division, where the playoffs are going to be hitting, and so it could just depending on how we do. I mean, it will give us a good preview of where we're at and kind of where we're going to fall in the playoffs and where we're going to go.
I ask all the coaches this, but are you more of a pregame or post-game meal kind of guy?
Probably more post game. I can never, even though we eat pre-game meals, I don't really eat, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
even though I force my kids to eat, and so it is hard to eat when your stomach is just kind of not in knots, but you're just ready for the game. You're just
Right.
ready
Right.
for it to
Right.
get here. So, yeah, I'm more of a post game type meal type person.
If we're not driving 5 or 6 hours away and finding whatever gas station is open, if it's a home game, what's our choice? What's the go-to for the post-game meal?
Uh, probably go to Chick-fil-A then
There you
at that
go.
point. It's on the way home, and so I'll just grab something and just head home with that. So,
Nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
One last question. Obviously, when you guys get your schedule ready, and really cool situation last year. You got to play Lancaster Christian up here in Tennessee, and you've played the Oklahoma teams, the Kansas. You guys have traveled, and obviously I don't want to you don't want to look ahead too far. But when you're putting your schedule together for next season, is there anybody you look at and say, I want to take a crack at these guys. I want to play these guys, or is there a chance that we could see Southwestern Florida at the national tournament?
Well, we could probably be in Florida if the conference would change our playoff system
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah, no
If
doubt.
we would play
No
a little
doubt.
bit earlier, then we could be there.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I
guys
think
do
even-
start really late.
We do, and even in Arkansas, I think the AAA, their state championships the end of October, so that's
Really?
when they wrap it up. So yeah, I mean, we could do that if our conference decided they wanted to wrap it up a little earlier. I'd be for that. But no, I think it's when you're looking at the schedule, it's just, I guess, just trying to make sure we have the teams that we're supposed to be playing, and then just looking at our division, looking at the teams around us, and just seeing what would be a good game that we can measure ourselves with. Like Subiaco wasn't an intentional thing, and then
Have I been
you know,
mispronouncing that the whole time?
it is Subiaco.
Oh my
That's how it's
gosh.
called. That's all right.
I did this with Virginia last week too.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're
Oh
good.
man.
it's a word that you don't see very often, and I've mispronounced it many of times before. Someone let me know.
Subiaco. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. And so, we
Is it
played
is
them.
is it Rosebud?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Rosebud.
All right.
So
Double checking.
we'll play them in a couple weeks, and
Yep.
we'll play Blevins Public School this week,
Okay.
and they're newer to 8-man, and so they kind of reached out and said, hey, would you want to play? And so so we haven't really seen them before, and so it's been interesting being able to play some of the schools that some of our kids, they got friends that go to those schools, so it's fun to be able to play some of those schools now.
Man, you guys travel a lot, but you guys take rivalries to the next crosstown rivalries to the next level. You've got Arkansas Christian there in Bryant, just southwest. You've got Abundant Life in Jacksonville on the north side. You guys take crosstown rivalries to the next level. That's awesome.
Well, we tried it. It's I love rivalry games, and I'm glad our kids like rivalry games. But sometimes I'm like, hey guys, let's just play as good as we can. And I mean, those are always tricky games. It doesn't matter what team is where they're at in the division or anything. They're going to bring everything they got, and so you just got to come ready, be ready, and be ready for a long game, hopefully.
No doubt. Well, Coach, I appreciate you hopping on. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do this season, and hopefully looking forward to see what you guys do in November there in the postseason.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Coach Greg Ferguson from Southwest Christian there in Little Rock, Arkansas. Getting ready for their season there in the Heartland Christian Athletic Conference, the Arkansas division. Some good football being played down in Arkansas. Again, big shout out to AAA for picking up 8-man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. All right, let's preview what's coming up this weekend. We're gonna run through this real quick. Two programs looking for their first win of the season. We're gonna start in Alabama in the ACSC. Trinity Christian Homeschool, the Eagles independent team, on the road at the Lighthouse Warriors. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. One of them's going to get it. Coosa Valley, one of the newer 8-man teams in the AISA. They're at East Central 3-0, but off the last 2 weeks. We'll see what happens there. Freedom Cowboys and Evangel. This is a huge matchup. Two defending champs, Freedom from the SEEC, Evangel from the ACSC. Evangel coming in 3-1 after playing a couple 11-man games. Freedom just reeling off big wins after the tough loss to Pack in Gatlinburg 1st of August. This is going to be a big one there in Alabaster. Stewart County at Southern Christian. Stewart County, one of the 8-man teams, one of the only public schools in Georgia to be playing 8-man. They've done it for a couple years now. They're at Southern Christian down in Opelika, and the Patriots are 2-0. Let's go to the AISA. Let's talk Thursday. Evangel Christian at Montgomery and Southern Prep. They face off both 1-2, both looking to get to 500. Talked about Coosa Valley and East Central, Springwood and Cornerstone. Big rivalry game here between the two of them. This is a rematch of the championship game last year. Cornerstone Christian still unbeaten on the season, and then North River Christian and Lakeside School matching up. Lakeside had the 11-man game, or maybe not this past weekend, but they're looking for their first win. North River Christian also looking for their first win, so that's coming up in the AISA. Let's go to the CFA, Christian Football Association. On Thursday, Jacksonville Christian is at Victory Christian. Thunder 3-1 on the season. Victory Christian, hey, they're 3-0 so far, getting into the meat of their schedule. On Friday, Clay County Christian 0-2 is at Cornerstone Christian Rainsville, who just got their first win of the year, that big win against Tabernacle Christian. And then Tuscaloosa Christian, they're on the road to take on Russell Christian. This will be a rematch of last year's CFA championship game that went to overtime. It was a lot of fun to watch. Great ball game. But it's coming up Friday night. Warriors are 3-0 on the season. Let's go to the Southeastern Extreme Conference here in Tennessee. Coming up Friday night. Mentioned Freedom and Evangel happening down at Evangel. Tennessee Heat with another 11-man game. They're taking on Grundy County. Riverside Christian, Chattanooga Patriots, both looking for their first in-conference win. Chattanooga is 0-5. Riverside's 1-3 with the win over Trinity Christian Homeschool, but 0-3 in conference play. Zion Christian, they're on the road in Springfield to take on South Haven Christian. Zion with the big win over Chattanooga this past Friday. South Haven with the win over Riverside. So we'll see what happens there. Tennessee Tigers on the road up in Tri-Cities, up in Blountville, to take on the Eagles, who are unbeaten but were off last week. And then Lancaster Christian, 3-0 on the season. They're in White House to take on Christian Community, a little bit of a homestand, short little homestand for Christian Community here for the next couple, last week and then this week as well. Let's go to Georgia. Let's talk a little GIAA football. John Hancock Academy looking for their first win of the year at Harvester Christian. And then that's happening on Thursday. On Friday, Westminster Christian 4-0. They're at Holy Spirit Prep. Georgia Christian is 4-0. Westwood is 4-0. This is a massive, massive game in the GIAA. Memorial Day is at Sherwood Christian. David Emanuel at Vidalia Heritage. Westminster Schools of Augusta at Covenant Academy. Westminster Schools of Augusta at 2-0 so far this season. St. Mary's Academy is at Monsignor Donovan Catholic, looking for their first win. St. Mary's is. Crisp Academy, Fullington Academy, and then Grace Christian at 0-4, looking for their first win of the year against Citizens Christian there in Georgia. Let's go to South Carolina. Talk about. We'll start with SCISA, the South Carolina Independent School Association. All the games happening on Friday. Wardlaw Academy 3-0 at Oakbrook Prep, who is 0-3. Cross on the run, another 0-3 versus 3-0 matchup. Cross is at Holly Hill. Holly Hill 3-0 on the season. Lawrence Academy 3-1 is at Richard Wynn, who is 3-0. Cathedral Academy 4-0 is at Conway Christian 0-3. Newberry Academy 0-3, they're at King Academy. And then JDA, Jefferson Davis Academy, on the road at King's Academy. So there's King Academy and then King's Academy. Trying to say a lot of unbeaten teams so far in the SCISA. Wardlaw, Holly Hill, Richard Wynn, Cathedral, all unbeaten. So those matchups coming up down the pike, if I'm not – yeah, next week it's not this upcoming week, but the week after that. Hang on just a second. Had to wet the whistle a little bit. All right. Not this Friday, the next Friday. It'll be Richard Wynn and Wardlaw. So that'll be a big matchup there. And then Oakbrook Prep and Newberry, who were winless. One of them will potentially get their first win. But that's down the road a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go to the SIFA. Talk about this upcoming Friday night. Pack Panthers, Carolina Wildcats. Wildcats 500. Pack is 5-0. We just talked to Coach Wood from the Coastal Hurricanes. They're hosting Georgia School for Innovation in the Classics, both at 3-1. Augusta Eagles are listed to play a game just as varsity opponent. Let's see. Cambridge Academy. Okay, so it'll be Augusta and Cambridge. And then Harvest Christian is on the road to take on Palmetto Christian, who is playing a little bit of 8-man, is what it sounds like after talking to Coach Wood. Yeah, because Pack Panthers, I believe, are playing. Now, they've played some 11-man, so they might play up. But we'll see what happens there with Palmetto Christian. Let's go up to Kansas. KC East, the Lions, on Friday are taking on, just has varsity opponent listed, so I'm not 100% sure. Northland Christian is hosting Cornerstone Family Saints. Northland Christian there in Kansas City, formerly coached by Coach Seth Bass, and now coached by Coach, I'm spacing on his name, Scott Edmondson. Used to be at South Haven Christian here in Tennessee. Life Prep is on the road at the Manhattan Eagles. They are 2-0 on the season so far. All right, let's go to Virginia. Let's talk about a little Virginia 8-man. Coming up on Thursday, Southampton Academy is at Brunswick Academy, and Blessed Sacrament Huguenot is at Kinston Forest. BSH looking for their first win of the year. VES, Virginia Episcopal School, they're on the road at the Covenant School. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was a rematch of the championship last year. Let me see. Might help if I go to the last year. No, it was VES and Christ Church who played for the championship. But 2 years ago, 2022, it was VES and the Covenant School. Covenant School getting the 26-22 win, and then VES and the Covenant School played last year, and VES got the win 24-14. So they will face off again coming up this week. Let me get back to scoreboard here. So that's Virginia Episcopal School and the Covenant School. Fishburne Academy, Fishburne Military rather, is at Fuqua. Christ Church School 2-0 at Greenbrier Christian, who is 3-0. And then Randolph-Macon Academy is at Rappahannock County on Saturday. Couple games happening. Quantico is at Chincoteague. And Massanutten Military Academy is at Broadwater Academy. Massanutten and Quantico looking for their first wins of the year. Chincoteague and Broadwater Academy both 1-2 on the season. Let's jump down to the state of Florida at the Sunshine State Athletic Association. Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, they're on the road at Riverside Christian. Florida School for the Deaf and Blind 2-0. Geneva Classical at 4-0. They're on the road at Foundation Christian. City of Life Christian 0-3, looking to get their first win, but it will be tough. They're taking on Masters Academy at 3-1. Calvary Chapel Academy on the road at Four Corners. Canterbury on the road at Sports Leadership and Management Academy. Liberty Christian Prep 0-4, trying to get in the win column. They're hosting Geneva Academy. Donahue Catholic is hosting the Classical Academy of Sarasota. Shorecrest Prep at 3-0. They're on the road at at the Lakes. Hernando Christian 1-3 at Lakeside Christian, also 1-3. Countryside Christian at First Coast Christian. Ocala Christian 3-0 on the season at Lake Mary Prep. This will be a big one, big matchup there. Oasis Christian at Babcock, and then Gainesville Christian Community is at... Well, it does not have a team listed, so there you go. Let's see, are there any Saturday? No Saturday games in Florida. All right, let's go to Mississippi. Let's go to Louisiana first. Let's go to the state of Louisiana on Thursday. First Baptist Christian is at Acadiana Christian. First Baptist 1-2, Acadiana 1-3. On Friday, North Shore Vultures, they're at Heritage Christian. North Shore 2-3, Heritage Christian 2-1. And then on Saturday, big game here. JPG is at Southwest Louisiana Homeschool. That'll be a big one. No score reported yet for JPG and First Baptist Christian from last Thursday. So JPG probably 5-0, probably, but who knows 100% for sure. Let's see, where are we going to go next? Let's go to Mississippi. Let's start with the Mid-South Christian Football League. New Orleans Homeschool Saints is at the Faith Christian Homeschool Academy, and that game is on Friday. On Saturday, Pine Belt Spartans, they will be hosting the Faith Explorers Homeschool. That game happening on Saturday, so a couple matchups there. And then let's jump to the MAIS there in Mississippi. Run through the games happening on Friday. Tensas Academy looking for their first win of the year. They're at Claiborne Academy. Christian Collegiate 1-1 is at Wilkinson County Christian, who is 3-1. Marvell Academy 0-3 at DeSoto. DeSoto unbeaten. Marvell looking for their first win of the year. Kemper is at Kemper is not at Sharkey Issaquah because Sharkey Issaquah is not having a team, so Kemper I think is off this Friday. Christ Covenant at Hebron Christian. Calhoun Academy at Delta Academy. Delta looking to stay unbeaten. They're at 3-0. Franklin Academy looking for their first win of the year on the road. It's going to be tough. They're at River Oaks, who's 3-0. Tallulah Academy, they're 3-1 on the road at Union Christian. That is MIIS 1A. If you look at 2A, the 2A division on Thursday, Silva Bay Academy and Park Place Christian has the prime time slot. And then I'm trying to see if there's any that I didn't talk about. Prairie View and Silva Bay happening on Friday. Prairie View 4-0. Silva Bay, well, something's off there. Yeah, something's a little bit off there. Just a little bit off. Let me see. Let me refresh that. Okay, well, we'll see. Tunica Academy is at Deer Creek. Marvell is at DeSoto. Discovery Christian at Prentice Christian. Park Place Christian at Hillcrest Christian. Humphreys Academy at Porter's Chapel. North Sunflower Academy is at Lee Academy. And Newton County Academy is at Ben's Ford, who currently sits at 3-0. Let's jump up to the Heartland Christian Athletic Conference. We just talked to Coach Ferguson. On Thursday, Destiny Christian does not have their opponent listed. So they're supposed to have a game on Thursday. Southwest Christian, we just talked to Coach Ferguson. They've got the 8-man game coming up on Friday against the brand new 8-man, and that's on Friday. Also, Unity Christian is at Arkansas Christian. Claremore Christian at South Coffeyville. 8-man public school 8-man team up in Oklahoma, and then Life Christian, another 8-man team out of Oklahoma. They're at Bowlegs, coming out of Oklahoma. I'm distracted because I could have. Okay, on Max Preps you can have a profile picture like your team logo. This Bowlegs team from Oklahoma has a GIF where the logo goes. Wow, huge squirrel moment. That's actually kind of cool. On Saturday, Crossover Prep at Cornerstone Spartans. And then Abundant Life, the Owls, they're on the road at Trinity Christian. Let's see, who do we have left to talk about? Well, let me see. Let me make sure we're good. Mason-Dixon. Let's talk about the Mason-Dixon Conference. Mississippi School for the Deaf is at Louisiana School for the Deaf. Alabama is at Tennessee, and South Carolina is at New Hope Leadership Academy there in South Carolina. And then on Saturday, well, something ain't right here. I think that's correct, because this has Saturday listed as Arkansas School for the Deaf at Tennessee School for the Deaf and California School for the Deaf at Alabama School for the Deaf. But you know what? Let me look up TSD real quick. Look at their latest schedule. No, their latest schedule has them playing, Alabama School for the Deaf on Thursday. They'll play Arkansas next week. Okay, so it is Alabama and Tennessee playing each other Thursday there in the Mason-Dixon Conference. Let's see. Last one to go through should be North Carolina. NCISAA football, all the games taking place on Friday. Liberty Christian at Father Capodanno. They are 0-3, looking for their first win of the year. Rocky Mount Academy is at Rendell Parrott. St. David's Raleigh is at Berean Baptist. Cary Christian, 2-0 on the year. They're at Halifax Academy. JP2 is at East Chapel Hill. Columbia is at Northeast Academy, where they are looking for their first win of the year. Pungo Christian is at Community Christian. Lawrence Academy is at Wayne Christian. And that's it. That's all the games happening on Friday. And I think that is everybody. Let me look through real quick. Yep, that's it. Well, that will do it for Extreme Talk, powered by Complete Real Estate, where experience and integrity matters. Want to give a big thank you to Sutton Pools LLC for sponsoring the coaches' interviews today. Big thank you to Coach Woods and Coach Ferguson for hopping on. And, hey, listen, if you got a game nearby, go catch one this weekend. A lot of good football happening. Thank you so much for tuning in to Extreme Talk, powered by Complete Real Estate. See ya.